And light a candle. Oh,
Oh my God, she's singing.
Oh, yep. You talk about something being lit. Got him.
Exclusive to them.
And the great part is it's on YouTube. So like even if people are not like watching in this specific moment,
Right.
they can go back and they can watch it. But of course, if you can't tell by the voices and the looks on the brother's face, it's obvious that it's Wednesday and the red light is on. There's a lot that happened this week. We have a lot to get into. We have to talk about NXT's 25-man battle royal. We have Clash of the Castle results. We have Seth Rollins back. We have Jeff Hardy in TNA. We have Championship Culture to review. Liv Morgan still pressing Dominic Mysterio. Damian Priest is rather boring. Brother Guy is giving thumbs up and fireworks. And the main event of tonight's show, the Wyatt Sick6, has arrived. This is going to be pretty exhausting, but you know what? We are the guys to do it. Not to mention, gentlemen, we have a very special award. We need to discuss all that and more right after the intro. Let's get it.
Houston, we have a problem. Yes!
Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going.
Hold it.
Whoa.
I'll use it. That'll work. Difficulties, obviously.
Did I mess up this?
Don't worry, it'll get there. It's like, wait a minute. There it is. Ooh, welcome to the Wrestling Realm Now podcast, where we take a deeper dive into the word professional wrestling. Now, I made him hold that roof for extra long. It's okay. Follow us on all social media platforms, including Instagram, Threads, X, and Facebook at Wrestling Realm. Like, subscribe, and engage in the conversation with us. And you can watch all of our Wrestling Realm content anytime on youtube.com/Wrestling Realm. You can download all of our audio content anytime on Spotify and sometimes Apple Podcasts. Watch us and subscribe to our Twitch channel at The Wrestling Realm. I am your host, yours truly, the realness himself, the real Dwayne Allen, in the building on this very day. He is your host, the super producer of Championship Culture. Brother Hugh himself has the third, H to the A to the S, B to the H to the E, B to the R, to the D, in the building. He is your host, the Belt King, not just any guy, but Brandon, the guy, the founder and curator also of Championship Culture, in the building today. And he is your host, not here yet, but he will be joining us shortly. Brian H. Waters will be in the building today. Now, with that being said, this is the part of the show where we try to sell you things. That's right. I don't do kayfabe. So if you want to support the brand, shop now at WrestlingRealm.com, where we have all of our Wrestling Realm merchandise, t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, and more.
I'm gonna lick all of it.
Already.
Power off.
Ready. .com. All t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, and more. Also, if you want more of the Wrestling Realm, guess what? We have a Patreon channel. That's right, patreon.com/the_wrestling_realm. For all exclusive shows and bonus material, we are revamping our Patreon channel. And shout out to all those who have already subscribed. Guess what? You can subscribe to our Patreon channel for just as low as $1. If Brian was here, I'd say, Brian H, say the line. He would say, pay the one. So yes, you can subscribe for, thank you, brother. You can subscribe for just as low as $1 on patreon.com/the_wrestling_realm. And guess what? If you would like to advertise with the Wrestling Realm, you can do that as well. You can contact us at wrestlingrealm@gmail.com. So if you want to partner with us, you have a show to advertise, or you just want to decide you think it'd be a good fit, a good partnership with the good brothers here at the Wrestling Realm, you can do so. But don't forget to put the word advertise in the subject title, where we'll email you back with some rates and see if we can work something out together. Now, it's the summertime, gentlemen. Now, this is the part I will usually play Will Smith and Jazzy Jeff Summertime. But I'm not gonna lie to you. For the last couple of weeks, we've been getting flagged. So we don't get revoked of our premium status on YouTube. I'm just gonna skip it and just tell you. We are partnered with SeatGeek. That's right. SeatGeek has provided us with our own promo code, so we can do you all a solid. You can save $20 on all tickets to live shows, concerts, and more using the promo code Wrestling Realm. All one word, all caps, no spaces. Now you're saying, well, what's the catch, realness? And I'm telling you, there is no catch. For any purchase, one-time purchase, by themselves, they have the company of an individual or individuals, and sometimes those ticket prices can get pretty pricey. But guess what? Once again, we are here. Once again. I'm going to say once again. The Wrestling Room is partnered with SeatGeek, and we have our own promo code. So do yourself a favor. Use our promo code. Save yourself a few dollars. Promo code Wrestling Realm. Remember, that's all one word. Don't forget 2 W's. SeatGeek.com. Promo code Wrestling Realm. Everybody knows what time this is, right? I don't even cue it up anymore. I just let it rock. Now you know when you hear that sound and you see that bird get to flying. I can't even make up. I was trying to think of a bird noise to make, like, but it's not appropriate bird for how fierce that fiery bird looks. That was kind of cool for Martin.
Yeah.
But not to be confused with that type of bird, but the firebird. What do you guys call that? Your signature championship culture bird?
It's a Raven.
I forgot you did. Okay, could I say it again?
Raven X. Mixture of a Raven and Phoenix.
Got it. So the Raven X bird, patented by Championship Culture. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m., the Wrestling Room has a brand new show that is hitting the waves and hitting the waves hard. All the way into season 2 already. 25 episodes previously, and season 1 bonus episode. Brother, he's going to laugh when he thinks about the bonus episode. But season 2 is completely underway, and Championship Culture is hitting on all cylinders right now. Once again, every Tuesday, 8 p.m. on youtube.com/The Wrestling Realm. Playlist Championship Culture. You get the newest and the most dynamic information, conversations, so much more on Championship Culture. Now you say, well, what is Championship Culture? I'm sure you know what it is by now, but you're probably asking, what does that even mean? It is what it says. It is the culture of championships. Brandon, the guy, the Belt King, and Brother Hugh have put together one of the most unique, one of the most unique shows that have ever graced the airways of YouTube or anything else when it comes to content creation, with the focus simply on the culture of championships. Henceforth, the name Championship Culture. And this week was no different. Now, gentlemen, I seem to forget. My memories is all over the place. I don't remember exactly what this week's show was about or who was involved, but this was the time of the show where I say, Brother Hugh, Brother Brandon, what was this week's episode of Championship Culture about? And they do some little thing to figure out who's going to talk.
I'm going to just say
they would jump right into it.
It was about 24 hours ago. It ended. So this right here.
There was some gump on there. You remember the gump's name?
It was about the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. And it was Beyond the Wrestler. And I think we even got an exclusive. This was the exclusive right here. Yeah. Yeah. But I'm sorry.
Is that me?
I'm just saying. We had to, you can't talk about IWGP without at least mentioning the Bullet Club. But we talked about the International Wrestling Grand Prix, right? And its lineage of their world title / heavyweight championship. I'm picking my words very carefully because some point it was called the heavyweight championship. At points it was called the world championship, world heavyweight championship. But if you want to hear the details, you want to hear some hot takes, you want to hear some facts about it, you want to get some education, you want to see what others had to say about it, go check out Championship Culture at Wrestling Realm. I'm sorry, youtube.com/Wrestling Realm. And don't forget, you can tune in every Tuesday, 8 p.m. to see what else the brothers have in store. But I'll tell you, this show was one of those impactful, needed to be impactful. Probably should have did a part 2 of this because I feel like we cut some things short.
It might still come.
We cut some things short. We still got a lot to talk about with him because
Yep.
I feel like we let this belt off the hook too fast. Because I feel like we're not done with it. We still got some things to talk about this. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. And about the most prestigious stuff.
That belt does not look that bad.
And for those who may not be familiar with your holding up, brother Brandon, that championship.
Are we having technical difficulties? Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
It sounds like somebody. Is that me going up?
Is that me?
I don't know. It sounds like somebody's audio is messed up.
It's me.
Who is it? Can you hear everybody? Let's start there.
I can hear you now. Yes.
Is it
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh.
I can hear both of y'all.
It's you who. It sounds like you're. Yeah.
It might not be a lot. So, brother Brandon, can you?
I think now he's frozen. I think he was going to ask me something about holding the belt, but I hear every other word. I don't know if it's everybody else. Nope.
Can you hear me?
Yep. You just keep going in and out.
You can't hear me either.
I can hear you.
Got it.
I can hear you.
You can?
Go ahead. Yes, you're good. Now try. It must be something cursed with this belt. I think New Japan might be like, y'all talking about our belt. We're going to disrupt your stream.
That ugly that it's messed up. But can you tell people what version of that belt that you have?
In the belt world, this would be considered version 5. Technically, it's a new belt because this belt was the product of the IWGP Heavyweight Championship and the IWGP Intercontinental title being merged together to make the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. To get the full story, check out this episode. We kind of go in depth about it and talk about how this came to be. But this is technically a new lineage of a belt, but they slowly but surely been attaching it to the old version. So technically version 5, technically version 1. Depending on what time frame you're looking at. When it was first introduced, it was supposed to be a new lineage of this belt. But they've kind of since, what's the word I'm looking for? Retracted or, start retro and then say, no, we're going to make it part of the old one. But definitely some interesting tidbits about it. And I feel like we still got a lot to cover with this belt.
Absolutely. How I'm sounding? I'm sounding sexy.
Yeah. Now you sound like you.
Yeah, be real sexy now.
You go. It's not about you. But of course, can you if mind you, I was on the show, right? And I've always enjoyed myself every time we check. I was on the show. First, they don't advertise when I'm on the show, just in case people don't try to tune off. Because if you tell them, they might not look. If you see on the show preventing from having notes, you're wrong. Because guess what, ladies and gentlemen, I've got notes. Brian, this is gonna be mad when he hears the audio from this video. And there it is. Did you guys hear the paper wrinkle? Did you hear it?
I have notes on the show that he's on. This is gonna be funny.
Okay.
And who said it? Justin said you're gonna have to talk to third person.
And it's just a follow up, because I have nothing to complain about. Is that fair?
That's fair.
I have nothing.
You're still cutting in and out though.
Okay.
It might be you.
No, that's cool. Can you I think I got something else going on here. Who knows? It's always this way. But the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Can you hear me? If I ever go out, put up a signal or something, so that way I know for sure that it's not going in and out.
Gotcha.
All right.
I'll give it to you, sweet.
Okay.
I'll do that to let you know what's going on.
There you go.
Yeah. So the IWGP World Title. Up there's a signal. Did you? Okay. Is that the signal, or are you too sweet to the fact to the championship?
We can't hear you. This is the signal that we can't hear you.
That's the whole signal. Yes.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
See. Okay, got it. How about now? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Right now, yes.
Yes.
Okay. So you can't hear me?
No.
This is what it sounds
Yes,
like, Dustin
no,
Wayne. It's like,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then everything will be fine for, and then that's what you sound like.
Got it. It's okay. How about now? Still in and out? Can you hear me?
It's still cutting in
always
and
at
out.
the top
You know
of the
what it
show.
is,
We
probably.
just-
I think because it shows on our screen,
What is
you
that?
have two, whatever this other one that you have, mute that one, because you have two things on, don't you? Mute one of them. You
Well,
probably
I
getting
have the
feedback from.
I have the presentation.
Oh shoot!
No, it's just the presentation. So like, if I take it away, can you? Is it?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Is it good? Or can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can
that's
hear me?
much better.
Okay.
Yeah, that's much
So
better.
I think what happens is if you try to do too much, does that make sense?
Now you're doing it again.
Yes, it's a delay. It's okay. Can you hear me now? We're doing like a full blown Verizon commercial on the show. Like every other sentence is, "Can you hear me?" Like it's weird.
At least it didn't cut off like it did last night. Last night we got kicked
Anyways,
off, both of us.
Both of you, all right?
It definitely was. Brother, he was about to call the show and do it as well.
Definitely was.
See the car.
From the
People
front
like
seat of the
this.
car.
Put me in, coach. I'm ready. He's going to come in there and be like, "Hey guys,
But yes,
let me tell you why Dolph Ziggler is so great."
Absolutely.
we talked about Dolph Ziggler a little bit on Champion Culture because of
Towards
Global
the end,
Championship,
yeah.
right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, but before the notes cut out again, let me just get it out. My notes. Obviously, like I said, version 4 is the greatest IWGP World for Grace Professional Wrestling. That's fact number 1. 2, well, this is my personal opinion, that Hiroshi Tanahashi is my favorite IWGP World Champion of all time. So there it is.
Those are your 2 minutes.
There are my notes. You see that?
Yes.
So,
Perfect.
if you want to go back, you want to watch Championship Culture, go back and watch it on youtube.com/The Wrestling Room every Tuesday, 8 p.m. You have to go back and watch the show. If you're a fan of New Japan Pro Wrestling and Japanese wrestling as a whole and as a culture, you will enjoy this show tremendously. But we have a lot to get into today, gentlemen. This is going to be a long show, right? So we gotta jump right in. Usually this is the part where Brad keeps the bell, but we're just gonna do old fashioned like on Rocky when he was in the ring at the end of Rocky I think 1 or 2. He was in the ring with Hollow Creek, and he was like, "Ring the bell, ding, ding." So that's what we're gonna do today. Let's jump right the heck into it. All right, you guys ready?
Yep. Let's go.
All right, here we go. So there's a bit of a delay. First of all, gentlemen, guess what? Apparently, something happened. Every year there are rankings amongst content creators and podcasts and so on and so forth, correct? And every year the Wrestling Room has an opportunity to be judged in the mix. And for the last couple of years, we have been, I guess you can say, nationally ranked. And this year, we have been voted from the top 90 most sought after wrestling podcasts for 2024 by feedspot.com. So this is the part where so I don't know if you guys knew this or not. I'm looking for the applause button. There it is.
No, I didn't know that.
That's the Jordan number right there.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I just did something real quick. I said, wait a minute. I found this out maybe an hour before the show. Because
That's
usually
nice.
around this time, they always come out, right? And I was like, oh, shoot, let me check to see what we found. You know, I think the highest we've ever been has been 15. But we have been
15.
consistently in the top. Yeah, we've been consistently in the top 25. Just, I mean, we're in the same conversation with the heavy hitters. You know what I mean? Like, so it's not like podcasts that people haven't heard about. No, they're saying, you know, out of the top 90 wrestling podcasts to listen to in 2024 this year, the Wrestling Realm came in at 23. So congratulations, brothers. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it before, but you know, I wanted to just, you know, say, you know what, let's toot our own horns for once, okay? There you go. So
Yeah.
that's it. There is
First off, I want to thank God. I want to thank my mom.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Shout out to Championship Culture, brother Dwayne Allen, and big shout out to the steak eating Jack Daddy, Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
That's my icon. That's my idol. Love you, bro. Just I appreciate everything. You know what I'm saying? Y'all was there for me always. You always been there for me. You always there. You know what I'm saying, to guide me in the right direction. I just wanted to show you some love, give you your flowers. And I appreciate y'all. You're about to play the music. Oh, okay, all right. But I'm gonna get at y'all. Thank you. I'm gonna holler at you.
Did you just get information that you got wrap up music, brother Hugh?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, how clever. It's too late. You didn't think that we wouldn't be watching you at this point. Nice try. If this is the game you want to play, then let us play the game.
Oh, jeez. You guys, I knew this was going to happen. But you know what? We gotta keep going. I'm not selling it. So, excellent speech by Brother Hugh. Yes. So, shout out to MMA.feedspot.com for voting the Wrestling Realm at number 23 out of the top 90 wrestling podcasts to listen to for 2024. So, now that we got that out the way, like I said, there's a lot we have to get into this week. Now, usually every week we do a segment on the show. We call it "What Do You Watch?" Where the brothers, we get our minds ready for the show, and we figure out, hey, what can we watch to get us in the right mindset to discuss some good old fashioned wrestling? Now, usually we don't include the weekly television that we often see, but guess what? It's been pretty good lately. So guess what? Let's start off this show with our most famous segment, sponsored by It Could Be You. Reach out to us at wrestlingroom@gmail.com. But until then, good brothers, what did you watch this week?
Well, I actually watched the WWE biography.
Oh, which one?
ECW.
Oh, did I missed it?
Yeah.
On Sunday, right?
Yep. I just
go back
watched
and
it not
watch
too long ago. It's awesome, man. It's awesome.
Wow.
Gives you an in-depth look of everything that went down as far as the partnership with WWE early on. It tells you how great Paul Heyman was or is as a manager, owner, photographer when he started out, just mentor. He's a great guy, and they gave you an insight on like the struggles that they had, with the major networks and whatnot, and which pretty much led to their death later on, down the line. But I'm actually watching a match right now. I'm watching Tajiri versus Steve Corino.
Oh,
Hardcore Heaven, 2000.
It sounds like what? Okay, I was about to say 99, but 2000 sounds about right.
Yeah. Just got finished watching Rey Mysterio versus Psychosis in 95.
Okay.
Man, I'm down the rabbit hole.
I was about to say, it sounds like these A&E biographies, because they sent me down one too, so I don't blame you, brother. It sounds like these like I said, these A&E biography shows are sending people down these rabbit holes. I gotta see that one. I was looking forward to that one, and I wouldn't even, like I said, my TV schedule is off.
It's good. Yeah. And the WCW one, I haven't seen that yet, but I gotta look at that too.
Okay. Now you talk about episode 3, or you talk about just the entire series?
Episode 3.
Did they release episode 3?
I believe they released it.
Oh man. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
Shall I wait till 4? Just watch them 3 or 4 together.
I mean, that's up to you.
I think I might wait and watch both of them together.
Okay.
Hey, listen, I usually do that a lot, so I'm not opposed to it. So if you do it, I don't blame you. Like we were watching the X-Men '97. I purposely didn't watch all of it until it was completely done, and I binged all the way through.
You stressed me out the whole time we were not watching it.
I apologize. I shouldn't have done it, but I did.
But I didn't get a phone call asking me if I was okay after you watched episode 5. So I felt some kind of way.
It was by the time I watched episode 5, like it was already done. Like the series had already been.
Yeah, but you still should ask me if I was okay.
My bad. That's on me. I apologize, good brother. My fault. Matter of fact, are you okay? You good? It's never too late. It's never too late to ask.
I'm going to be
just
okay.
ask. Okay. Let me ask you a question. What exactly did you watch this week, brother Brandon?
So I watched a couple of different things. I went down a rabbit hole with IWGP, and it's crazy because you know how somebody is your favorite, and going down this rabbit hole, he became more of my favorite. I know that Shinsuke is a Triple H guy, but man, I feel like his best years are gone now because he has slowed down.
Shinsuke, you think his best years are gone?
Because they're not utilizing him. Because remember, in New Japan, we saw him go from that young lion, as the realness has explained to everybody, to the rock star. And it was crazy because I was trying to find that one entrance from, I believe it was Wrestle Kingdom, when he was Intercontinental Champion, and he came down with
the hoverboard?
No, the women, and he had the woman on his shoulder. It looked like it was strippers as he was coming to the ring, and I forgot how over the top their entrances were. And I was like,
especially at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yes, so seeing him with that title, I was like, it made me realize that was his. It was crazy. Most of the time, when you're a world champion, you go to the second tier title. The second tier title helped because of his world title run. I felt like that's what propelled him for that run as Intercontinental, and I felt like that was more important. So I went down that rabbit hole and started watching some things. And then on Saturday night, y'all would be proud of me, I watched a sport. And when I watched this sport,
say that often.
Somebody got I watched the boxing. But somebody got to tell that gentleman from Baltimore.
You watched the boxing. Got it.
Yeah, the boxing. But somebody told the guy from Baltimore with the straight backs, he got to tell the person, because when you're doing a moonsault, they got to be there for you. He did a moonsault, landed on his feet, and I was like, oh, he did the wrestle, but in the boxing. It was, at the end, after he hit him and the man hit his face on the ropes and he didn't get back up, he went to go do a moonsault to finish him off, but he just
wasn't there. Okay.
Yeah, because he was on the opposite side of the ring, so nobody told him about the ring psychology. And there was all these people there. I was like, y'all could have helped slide the man over, so he had to land on his feet. Very athletic, very entertaining, and it was very clean. So I'll give him a 10 out of 10 for that. So yeah, I just want to let y'all know I did watch another sport. So Drew, get ready. I think I'm ready for my next All Sports debate. I'm ready.
Okay.
So that's all.
Great job, I guess.
Oh wow, you're talking big stuff now.
See, Dennis even said it was very informative. You're welcome, Dennis. There you go. I appreciate you. Good job, brother.
He's talking about doing an in-out sports debate. That's some big stuff. That's like you're talking heavy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm an expert now at this point.
It's okay. It's cool. No, I'm appreciate that you watched a sport outside of professional wrestling this week. Well, with that being said, a lot happened this week, gentlemen. Now we are here. The main event of tonight's show, obviously, is we're here to talk about the Wyatt Six.
You see what Raj said?
The Wyatt Six has returned. It's finally showing up on WWE programming, and it was absolutely insane. But there was a lot of other things that kind of happened, right? Seth Rollins is back, for goodness sake. What the heck? Jeff Hardy shows up in TNA. You know what I mean? Drew McIntyre decides to quit WWE. So there's quite a few things that have kind of done. Not to mention, we're right on the heels of Money in the Bank. Pretty soon we'll be doing our Money in the Bank preview show, discussing who do we think should win on the men's side and the women's side. Like, where the heck do we begin? Let's start a little bit light, gentlemen. Jeff Hardy.
Joe Hendry.
Joe Hendry showed up on NXT, for goodness sake. You speak his name and he will appear. And then he got it. He got into it with Shawn Michaels, but Shawn Michaels kind of reiterated that he do believe. Well, let's start with TNA. Your guy, Brother Brandon, my guy, everybody's guy, Jeff Hardy, finally free from his AW prison contract, and now he is back in total nonstop action wrestling, aka never. I'm not going to do that. Jeff Hardy showed up. I was excited to see him, but brothers, we've been watching Jeff Hardy for a while now. Let's start here. How do you guys feel about Jeff Hardy? Let me go first. I said it before, and I said it a while ago. I said, I think the Hardys probably are better off in TNA as it is. It's because it's still mainstream. They have a large history, a large part of TNA's history, and it's less rough on the body. It's not an intense schedule. Exactly. It's pretty stationary, and they're big names. They will be treated like big deals in TNA wrestling. I thought they would be a good fit in the first place instead of. I understand why they went to AEW, but it just didn't work out. But you know, the Hardy Boys are almost Hardy seniors. They're getting up there in age, and Jeff Hardy decided to make his triumphant return to TNA Wrestling. How do you guys feel about the Hardy Boys reuniting for one more run in TNA? Good move, bad move? Are you happy to see him? Or you kind of like, Because I think, a lot happened in that AEW run. He was there for a hot second, and then he was derailed. He left WWE on some weird terms. They accused him of some things, found out that wasn't the case, goes to AEW, gets hurt. He's gone for a minute. He's off TV. His action figure comes out. He's the second superstar that his action figure has come out and has left the company.
Mm-hmm.
First was Ethan Page. His action figure released. He was gone the next week. Same thing with Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy's got 2 action figures coming out from AEW, and he just left. He's in TNA Wrestling now. How do you guys feel about Jeff Hardy in TNA Wrestling?
Well, first of all, I had beef with him because
oh, wait a minute. You didn't say you had beef with Jeff Hardy, Brother Hugh.
I had beef with Jeff Hardy because back in WWE, remember Matt Hardy was getting jumped in the ring, right?
He was.
He came out. Jeff Hardy came out, played his music and all that. He stands at the top of the ramp and he starts dancing.
That was AEW.
Mind you.
That was AEW.
Was that AEW? I thought it was WWE.
That was his AEW debut. So look,
I
thought it was WWE.
My bad. I thought it was old school WWE. But hey, I'm staying corrected. But still, he comes out again.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Hardy's getting his butt whooped. He comes out and he stands at the top of the entranceway with the chair.
You say that.
I'll paint
you would have bring that up.
I'll paint it.
The reason I have beef is because number one, I have a brother, and if my brother's getting jumped, I'm running down there and we throwing hands. That's number one.
That's number
one. Number two, Joe Hendry was in the ring. Number three, you know who else was in the ring? My guy was in the ring. Brother Nick Nemeth was in the ring. His little brother Ryan Nemeth, he was in the ring.
Well, matching outfits, by the way.
Exactly. Hollywood hunks, right? But what's up with you, Jeff? That's my only beef with you, bro. What's going on?
Brother Hugh, can I say something honestly?
Can
I address that before Brother Brandon goes?
What's that?
I feel like I don't know if it's going to help. It's just like yesterday on Championship Culture. I don't know if this is going to help, but I feel it's necessary to say.
Okay.
Brother Hugh, Jeff Hardy's like 56 years old. He jumped up a ladder and he landed on a bunch of chairs. How fast do you want him to run? I don't know if he still got it in him.
But still, you came out and stood there. It wasn't like a consistent walk, or he didn't just come straight out and go straight to the ring. He came out, he stood there for like 5 minutes, looked around. And
mind you, the entrance is like 2 feet away from the ring.
But still, as a brother that has a brother, think about it. You have a brother.
That's true. You're right. He's too busy soaking in the moment instead of his brother while he's getting jumped. You know what? I think I got beef with Jeff Hardy too.
But with that being said, I'm glad he's back in TNA. That's honestly probably the best place for him to be.
I think so as well.
It's going to be better on his body. He doesn't have to work all the time. He has good talent over there. Great talent that's going to help protect him for sure.
Sure.
WWE, it wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have worked. It's too many. It's top heavy right now.
You know it's going to be a problem though, right?
What's that?
It's going to be a problem. I'm gonna let Brother Brendan go, and I'm gonna tell you why, Brother Hugh. And when he's finished saying his 2 cents, Brother Hugh, go back and say, realness. What were you referring to? And I'm explaining to you why I think it's going to be a problem.
Okay.
Brother Brandon, how do you feel about Jeff Hardy showing up in TNA? Are you happy to see him? You're a Jeff Hardy guy, man. You got belts signed by him. He makes his little face with the signature on it. We all love Jeff Hardy. We've seen him have some really ups and downs, and every time we think he's good, he's not always good, but then he gets better, and he's back at it again. And he's like Sting, as long as he can wear face paint and keep his hair dyed, he's still Jeff Hardy.
Yep.
How do you feel about him showing up in TNA, reuniting with his brother? We all know it's temporary, but
I don't like it.
Oh wow!
Oh my gosh!
Whoa!
And I'm gonna say it because I said it before.
That's
when he showed up when he showed up at AEW, and remember I said this. I think the only place that was the best, that he was the healthiest, was in WWE. I think TNA has too much. Think about it. They tape a bunch of their shows, give him a large break. Whenever Jeff Hardy has too much freedom, that's when things start to happen.
Is that the case? Are you sure?
Good thing is,
I thought the problem was him being on the road too much.
That's what I thought.
The exact opposite. Because remember, WWE kept him the healthiest. When he went to TNA, He had how many stints, and he didn't get better until Matt was with him. When they paired them
I see what
together.
you're saying. Yeah,
You get what I'm
because
saying?
TNA
So
let Kurt Angle be there for 10 years on perks.
Yep.
I
So,
see
and I'm
what
not
you're
saying they don't have a good. I'm not saying they. I just hope that he can stay the Jeff Hardy that we love because
Okay.
WWE kept him the healthiest. You know what I mean? Like, and they kept because they have bigger resources. They're a larger company. Now,
and it's much more disciplined. Like you just can't do what you want to eat. Like you walk a much tighter rope.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about it. They should be. I don't want to say winding down their career. They should be on their Hall of Fame tour right now, where
Absolutely
you don't
Let's
see
wrap
them
this
on
up.
Raw, SmackDown, or NXT. You see them. Oh, superstars are appearing at X, Y, and Z. The Hardys are there. You know,
And
so
then
the
meet and
fans, they get their last run now. And if you want to put a strap on them for Raw or SmackDown, you have that option. And then because let's be honest, the reason they went to AEW because what wrestler doesn't want to make history? They wanted probably to go there, win the straps, and say we are because the Dudleys held all three. They never got a chance to hold the ECW tag team titles, but they held the WCW ones. So let's call it what it is. It's a new art stuff company. They were free from their contract. They went there. Things ain't go well. Go back to what you know, as in being home, their second home of TNA. But where they both were world champions, they both were tag team champions. They are mega stars there. It's going to inject some star power to TNA. I'm more worried about health related for him. That's why I say I don't like it because I think he's much better protected in WWE because who's to say at what's the next they just did no surrender. What's the next PLE pay-per-view for them?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I can't. Who's to say he won't be jumping off a cage? Who's to say he's not going to do something crazy?
Cage in there, and then place where they do the TV and stuff.
Yeah, who's to say he's not going to do some death-defying moment because he gets that adrenaline going? I think WWE would be better protected in the ring, outside of the ring, and for his health because they are a larger company. They had time to figure this out. They're not going to let them just do certain things. And let's be honest, the way Triple H is booking, any of the three shows wouldn't be bad for them to go to.
Here comes. You see the president of the Player Haters Ball has entered the building. Nit Ram.
Hate.
He said Jeff Hardy, Matt need to hang them up already. Wow, he telling them to hang up the boots already. I was like, oh, here comes the president of the Player Haters Ball. Nit Ram.
And Nit Ram is in the building. He's like,
All right, brother. You go ahead. Do the thing. We just talked about it. Go ahead. Do the thing. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Brother Realness. What exactly are you alluding to?
Oh, okay. I'm glad you asked.
Wait a minute, where's Dylan? Dylan's not here.
Dylan is going to pop up randomly.
He's causing trouble.
Wait a minute, is it winter time in Australia right now? Because it's like reverse. When we're in summer, they're in winter. I can't tell. Here's the thing about Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy loves TNA. He TNA is always this is where he goes to take a break. You know what I mean? Like every time he's gotten, like even his last WWE run, we were like, why is he leaving? It's because he was burnt out again. You know what I mean? He had been on top for a couple of years, and he wanted to slow down. But you work part time, you go to TNA. You're not on the road, But eventually, once he's like settled again, he'll tell you, I'm addicted to the roar of the crowd. It's nothing like those big crowds, and TNA has never provided that legitimately. So of course they go to TNA because that was another place for them to do it, but it just didn't work out. And I'm like, man, how long is it going to be before Jeff Hardy gets there and decides I want to have one more? Like you say, he's addicted to the moment. And usually people who have addictions, they kind of supplement it in some other way. You know what I mean? And he's like Mick Foley. He's an adrenaline junkie. He can't walk away from those moments. And of course, like you said, he will be well protected in WWE because they're not going to let him just do certain things. You know what I mean? But, I don't think he was going to be comfortable in TNA. He's going to be like, all right, he'll probably get healthy. He'll get his feet under him. But then when he starts feeling like, I think I can do this at a high level, even for another year or two, however long he decides to do it, he's going to want to do it in front of that 10,000 people audience. And he knows, first of all, if the Hardys come back at this point, the world's going to go even more insane. Like Matt Hardy dropped 23 pounds. He's in the best shape of his career. Once Jeff Hardy gets his feet under him, I got a bad feeling he's going to, and I don't mean bad feeling like it's negative, but I'm like, TNA right now is kind of a developmental holding place. And not like, no disrespect, I'm not saying it's developmental. I'm saying you know, they're in anytime a company is in a place of working partnerships with the biggest company in the world, they recognize their role in the wrestling industry and they're okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it's like,
We are
you know,
okay being the other company. We're not competition. We're just the other company.
there you go. Like, you guys got your thing, we have our thing. We're going to be the best version of this down here. You guys, and then we'll work together. You know, talent exchange. We'll get into that a little bit too. But that's what makes me nervous. I was like, man, I don't think he's going to be comfortable, brother Hugh. I think he's going to get the itch for that big crowd again. You know, those big WrestleMania moments, those big stadium shows, and you know.
But is he going to get utilized though? That's my thing.
Well, see, here's the thing though. Their original run, Triple H's original. You know, Triple H is going back to to right all his wrongs. All the stuff he wanted to do that Vince didn't allow him to do, he's doing it. He's made that very clear, right? And I say that with the think about the Good Brothers. Like when they got cut because of Paul Heyman, Triple H had fought for them to stay, and then he fought for their contracts, and then he even wanted them to come down to NXT, but then they got cut. Paul Heyman said there's no point in having them. You paid him all this money. What are you going to do with them? Blah, blah, blah. So they ended up getting cut. When they came back, what's the first thing Triple H did? He called them back. They were going back to Japan. I just found it out on their podcast. You know, they're both sober. They're both saved brothers now. Congrats to them. And they telling you story. They're like, no, we were on our way. When we had a TNA contract, we were in TNA, and they offered us the same contract we had. And they were like, well, we're looking for a bump in the contract. And they're like, well, but they still wanted to make these dates in Japan. And they're like, well, we can't give you that and you go to Japan. Like, it's not going to work. So they were on their way back to New Japan. I didn't know that until Trips called. Hunter hit him up, was like, hey. And I don't know if he re-signed up to those contracts that he had before, but I'm pretty sure they're not distraught about it. They keep losing on NXT and they could care less about it. So they're good. They're like, look, man, we're all right. We'll just take our time. But there's a reason. They like Triple H righted his wrongs. And one of the things Matt Hardy said on his podcast says originally what was supposed to happen. And I don't know if it was his podcast, he was talking to Chris Van Vliet. Matt Hardy had said, like, no, the plan was we're going to come back, do an old school Hardy run. Let's have that run. And then we were going to do the broken character. And the reason he was woken Matt Hardy is because they couldn't clear the trademark in time. Like the trademark came like a day afterwards, and they was like, "Crap, we should have just waited a day because we could have, he could have just been the regular." They couldn't do broken Matt Hardy the way it was supposed to be done, and of course Vince was running the show. Right. So I'm like, it was the same.
That's why it was so rushed.
Yeah, and also it did look rushed. Like it was almost like a light version, a diet version of what we had been seeing on the Indies and the TNA. We were like, it's cool, but if this is all they're going to give us, but it's supposed to be more than this. But I say all that is because Triple H had an idea, like, but then Jeff, remember they had the SmackDown tag, then Jeff got hurt. He was out for a while. And by the time
he got hurt as soon as he got him, didn't he?
Yeah, like they won the championship and then he had to drop him to like right there. You know what I mean? He had to get soldier surgery. He was out for a minute. So it's like you missed that window. So I got a feeling at 56 and 54 or 50, however how old the Hardys are at this point, their name still carries weight, and if you book them the correct way, and Matt Hardy said it, we're at a point in our careers, we don't mind putting over young talent. We just want it to mean something because we know our legacy is already intact. Right. And that's when I knew that Matt Hardy was leaving AEW. He's like, oh, I want to go somewhere where the Hardy's legacy is going to be in its right space. I said, well, clearly it's not in AEW. You guys just got there. So.
And they couldn't establish the Hardys. They were going off of the Hardy legacy from before. They did nothing in AEW to make you say, oh, the Hardys are there.
And I think Jeff Hardy's more open to like the Hall of Fame run now. Because think about it. Look at Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio's like, well, I don't want to go to Hall of Fame if I can't wrestle. I'm not ready to retire. You're like, no, we'll figure it out. And Rey Mysterio shows up. First of all, he's on whatever show he wants to be on. He's on Raw. He's on SmackDown. He was just in the main event of Raw. Like he's getting Hall of Fame treatment. And that's how he should be treated because now Rey Mysterio is a special character. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. When he shows up, he shows up. He don't got to be in no crazy storyline. He don't got to be involved. But I see that Triple H kind of doing something similar. But, speaking of returns, Seth Rollins showed up on Monday Night Raw. He's back, ladies and gentlemen. Were you guys happy to see him?
The Hardys are in their 40s. You kept saying 50s.
What did I say? 56? My fault. Yeah. I meant to say 40. I meant to say 46.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, okay.
Well, Brandon's like, what? They're not in their 50s. 56.
I was like, are they that old?
I think they're like 46 and 49 or 50.
Yeah, you're right. 46, 49.
There you go. Sorry, Hardy. Exactly. Like, I didn't mean to say 56. But yeah, so that was weird. I'm glad you said something because we were like, what did we say? 56. But Seth Rollins showed back up. A lot of people thought he was bald. He just got a shaved head. It's okay. Seth Rollins came back to Monday Night Raw, and he kind of staked his claim. He wants his World Heavyweight Championship back, which is going to lead us into this week's Good for Business, Bad for Business. You guys happy to see Seth Rollins back on WWE programming?
Yeah, always. Yeah. I wasn't expecting him this soon, but yeah.
No. I wasn't expecting a lot to happen on this show in Texas, Corpus Christi.
I don't know.
But,
I don't know if
ahead.
it was because I feel like the champion break wasn't long enough. But this is back to the original point that we've all talked about, how people can rotate in or out of the world title scene in literally a show. And the pop that he got was like, oh, did he need that time? Like I've said, some people need to go away for you to appreciate him. He's been gone, but I hope it doesn't become an Edge type of thing where he loses, then he's gone again.
First of all, that'll never happen. Edge is two-dimensional. I love Edge, but he's two-dimensional. Like Seth Rollins is reinventing himself every time we've seen him. And this latest incarnation of Seth Rollins is still hot. It's still hot because I think he figured it out. Because he's supposed to be a bad guy.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? But he's one of our favorite characters. But you got to remember SummerSlam's coming up, so you got to get your heavy hitters back in line. Got to get them moving again, because you got to convince people to come to Cleveland for SummerSlam. So Seth Rollins returns. He makes his claim for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, before we get into this, who's good? Good for business, bad for business. We'll skip on to this. Drew McIntyre this week has quit WWE. Are you guys going to be sad to see Drew go?
Yes, but no, because I feel like he's going to end up in TNA somehow.
You know what Drew McIntyre is going to do. You know what he's going to do. He's playing possum right now.
Absolutely.
How do you guys think this is going to play out between Drew McIntyre quitting? He said, "Screw this company, I'm gone." Now we know there's a partnership. You can't get us. We're the wrestling realm. You're not going to get us. I was like, oh, okay. So what if Drew McIntyre? Let me ask Brandon, because Brandon loves TNA. He won't claim TNA now, but there was a stretch. And we know it because we knew him then. Where he was a TNA guy. He was really pushing, right? He was hurt when Jericho didn't join TNA. Like he showed up to do Fozzy concert on TNA television, but he didn't join the wrestling company. How do you feel about Drew McIntyre showing up in TNA? Would you like to see that, Brother Brandon? And I ask that because you always say that what is TNA getting? That's not mutually beneficial. I was like, Brandon, well, it's not going to be. Like, no. What's the point if she comes over, but they're not giving something? Well, what do you mean, Brandon? Now, potentially, Drew McIntyre said he quits WWE, right? They have a working partnership with another promotion. Say Drew McIntyre does show up on TNA Wrestling. How do you book this, Brother Brandon? What are you thinking? You happy to see him in TNA Wrestling?
I wouldn't be happy to see Drew, but if I saw him,
you're just a negative Nancy today. You're just negative Nancy.
That's every day.
No, I'm saying because let him go in there and take the title from you, Moose. That's the only thing I can think about.
Take the title from anybody. He's just going to show up.
That's all I want.
He's gonna bump around a little bit, and he's going to go about his business.
If he goes over there, right? I don't know if he has contenders that I want to see him wrestle against.
Why does it have to be a contender? Why can't it just be a showcase?
All right, so let's call it what it is. Do you want to see him and like Josh Alexander in a match?
Me
you want to see
personally?
him as I'm just saying like him as Speedball.
Well, I'm not a Josh Alexander guy, so like I want to see, it's going to be him and Moose, and then somehow the system is going to cheat, or he'll win, but they'll like find a way to retain the championship. That's probably going to happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know
Moose's tryout match. You like that? Moose get a tryout match. But no, wait a minute. Moose,
okay.
No, brothers, I think we stumbled upon something.
We already have
Moose get a tryout match with one of WWE's top dogs.
WWE already has Moose.
I know, but like Moose Jr. Moose 2.
He was training with Tamina. That was his trial match. I mean, with not Tamina, his girlfriend. Remember he was in her jail. Yeah. He already had Angelo Dawkins was with him. He's good. We're fine. We're past that point.
No, this is his chance to show how far he's come along. Because first he had that domestic situation that when his contract was up and he couldn't afford to make a whole lot of noise, and
Right, right.
Now they're like, well, shoot, he wants to show WWE people what he's got. What if they send you over there? Drew say, I quit WWE. Shows up in TNA. You know what I mean? Then what? Like Moose goes, okay, cool. He calls him out, and they have a little thing. And Moose wants to show the world and WWE that he can hang with the big dogs. Are you guys looking forward to Moose versus Drew McIntyre?
First of all, there's only one person that can show the world, so we're not going to say that.
That was probably bad.
Oh, is he going to reunite with him? Oh, his former tag team partner.
Well, he has a tag team partner. He has his brother.
Yeah, but his former,
who looks like a younger, earlier version of Dolph Ziggler.
He looked like the first version.
Straight up,
like the U.S. title. Dolph Ziggler.
Let me ask you, brother. Are you okay with that? Because I always like Ryan Nemeth because he looked like a earlier version of Dolph Ziggler. I was like, oh, I like that. It's like young Dolph Ziggler. How do you feel about that?
I'm cool with it. I mean, it's his brother, so I wouldn't expect anything different, to be honest.
Okay.
But you don't want him to have his own character. He looks like.
I mean, I would, but
ride the wave.
I would, but why not? Yeah.
Okay. I was just asking because it's crazy because like when you have siblings or you have father like if
but he looks like him though.
He looks like it's the version of him that was the U.S. champion.
Right. So why hide it? Like, come on now, we can't.
Let's embrace it.
Yeah,
but that was a mutual thing though. They've been doing that for ever since they started though.
Yeah,
the Hollywood Humps or whatever. Yeah.
Yep. From Hollywood, Florida, and don't you get a kick out of that?
I know, right?
But yeah, Drew McIntyre quits. I told you guys yesterday on Championship Culture. It might have been Championship Culture After Dark.
It was After Dark.
You know what? I said, Drew McIntyre is going to go. He's going to go. He's going to say he quits. He's going to show up on TNA for a match or just for a moment, whatever it may be. It just could be even for appearances to run his mouth or to talk trash about WWE. And then we're going to get somewhere involving Money in the Bank. CM Punk's going to have a shot at the championship, and he's just going to cost CM Punk the championship. We already debunked it. Debunked it. So if you're watching this show, you're listening. I'm sorry. I spoiled it for you already. When it happens, look for me on the Twitter. I will be in all caps on the Twitter, as D was saying. On the Twitter. And you're going to hear me in all caps. So Drew McIntyre quits WWE. Drew McIntyre quits WWE. And but it's been fun. And guess what? This night got even more amazing. But this is our time to get into our second segment of our show we do every week, which is called Good for Business, Bad for Business. Each week we take something that happens in the world of professional wrestling and we discuss, is this that happened good for business or bad for business? And it doesn't matter who it pertains to. It may be good for business for the individual or maybe good for business for the organization involved. But in this case, we are talking about Damian Priest. This week's Good for Business, Bad for Business sponsored by, it could be you. Reach out to us at wrestlingroom@gmail.com. Subject line, advertising. But Damian Priest, brothers. See, I'm at all these extra commercial sounds like see that one too. Damian Priest, World Heavyweight Champion. Not gonna lie to you guys. Don't get me wrong. Hold on, look at this. Look at Nick Rams. He says, if I'm cost you a title, opportunity title, that would be okay with that story.
That's what I CM Punk calling him another title. That would be cause for murder. He would have to murder CM Punk. He would have to
they would have to do like a last man standing match when it's all said because somebody's gonna have to die.
No, this would be what was the WCW 3 cages.
There you go. That would be the most appropriate match, whatever they call that.
Yeah, I can't say it, but y'all know what I'm talking about.
It was cool in the movie and Ready to Rumble. In real life,
what is this? Why y'all? How did y'all get there?
It looked cool.
What was the thing?
I don't think it ended well, but
no,
it's an awkward time. Damian Priest, World Heavyweight Champion. Let's just. Are you guys enjoying his run? Now we know that first run is often awkward. You know what I mean? And it's okay. Everybody's not going to hit a home run for their first world title run. Sometimes you just got to get used to it. We're not used to seeing, these faces holding the world championship, and it's sometimes it's hard to see them in that light. Like Sheamus. When Sheamus first won, I said, he won the WWE championship spinner belt. I was like, it just looks awkward. Why is he the world champion? You know what I mean? Well, we have Damian Priest. Are you guys okay with this run so far? I have my 2 cents on it, but it's not just about me. I need to know what you guys are thinking.
So I'm gonna
Damian
go
Priest.
real
Go ahead.
quick. We saw him as North American. We saw him as a blink of the U.S. champion.
Mhm.
But I don't know if we ever was
It's a
fully
different character,
introduced. Yeah, we was never fully introduced who Damian Priest was.
There you go.
Then he became Judgment Day. OG member of the
Mhm.
Judgment Day, right?
Mhm.
The difference in him and Rhea Ripley's title run, we knew who Rhea was.
The
When
leader.
she became the Judgment Day, she became the evolution of Rhea Ripley. You
Mhm.
know, Judgment
was
Day would
muscle.
come out. Yeah, he was always there. They did things to make sure she stood apart. She had her own shirt initially. She always came to her music. He comes out, it was always the Judgment Day music. Then you give him his music. Really doesn't have a shirt. He has like I call him the gimmick shirt, like, and still El Champion, you know,
Yeah, the basic
Mr. El
shirt.
Champion. Yeah, like based upon the PLE. So I'm getting behind it more, but I don't like the fact of how I'm getting behind it. Because when he beat WrestleMania, great moment. Can't take it away.
Mhm.
Awesome moment. His first title defense when he fought Jay, it was the first one with Jay, right?
I believe so.
At
Yep.
Backlash, right?
Mhm.
All right, as much as we wanted Jay to win, it was like, oh, we want this to happen, right? But we knew they didn't just put this on that man to lose it, right? Great
Right.
showing. All right, I might get behind him, but stop it with the Judgment Day interference. We just let him do what he wants to do, right?
And he was pushing for that as well. Remember, he
Yeah.
was getting mad at his boys. Stop getting involved. I got this.
Yep. So
That was
that's
a terrible
one.
Damian Priest voice, by the way.
Yeah, it was. But now with Clash at the Castle, I think he's at the wrong time. Because I was gunning for Drew because WWE made me gun for Drew. They made me believe Drew McIntyre was going to walk out of
What
this
do you mean
PLE.
they made you believe? Did he Joe Hendry all of a sudden?
First
Right.
off, let's call it what it is. I don't remember anything else from Clash at the Castle, but Drew McIntyre was all over marketing, plastering it. This was his WrestleMania, just like Perth was Rhea Ripley's WrestleMania.
You're right.
This was
That's true.
his. And I was like, his interest,
all about
everything
Drew.
about it was about Drew.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
they gave him the main event. He fit. Damian Priest fit in that main event scene. It's just something that's still not clicking.
There you
And
go.
I want to say, yes, this is good for business for him still being champion. But if it comes down to him and Gunther at SummerSlam, I'm
Come
going
on
to be
now.
working for Gunther.
Right, because he's been built though. He's been built.
Yeah, that's my
He's
point.
ready to
Damon
go.
hasn't. So Damon
Ex-
got 3 title
it's-
defenses under his belt. And it's like, are you going to get past Seth? Or are we going to switch it back? Is this going to be a Survivor Series moment where, you know, when they switch it to AJ from gender? I don't
Yeah.
want to see him be Jinder Mahal, but I don't want to see that match be a mid-card, you know, right in the smack dab in the middle of SummerSlam is the World Heavyweight Championship match.
Brother, do you agree? Because I kind of do, and I want to get to Martin his 2 cents on it, because I think he just gave us a hot take, but we're going to explore that in a second.
As he does. That's his favorite. You know that's his favorite from. No, that's your favorite. Yeah, that's supposed to be your favorite, Dwayne.
I think it is. I can't keep up half the time.
Because
But
Martin and Nitram are the same person. He's
okay.
Oh my gosh.
K
Yeah,
famous Nitram.
Sure. But
I
you had a
don't
loss
know.
for words. You don't know what
Yeah,
to say.
because
You're
it's
like,
like- As a character, his character is throwing me
thank
off.
you.
Like,
You don't
because
know
it's
who he
like,
is. Who
yeah,
is
it's
he?
like when he won the title, he kind of got babyface vibes.
He was trying to,
And right, and then he started distancing himself from the Judgment Day.
and
So
they're much funnier now.
absolutely, and then he still. Oh my bad, I'm making noise.
No, you
He came back, and he keeps coming back to Judgment Day as, you know, of course they're
Like he's trying to
established
turn.
as a heel faction. So it's like, I don't understand where he is. He's not a very good tweener. I guess that's the term for it.
That's exactly what he is, a tweener.
It's just weird to me. I love for him. I love that he is the champion for sure.
Mhm.
And honestly, I hope that he beats Seth. I don't
Yeah.
think Seth needs it right. You know, I don't really want to see Seth have it right back, but you know, this quickly. But if it happens, it happens. But I would love to see him get a extra push. Let him go to SummerSlam and face Gunther. Give him that spotlight. But he has to figure out that character, because it's weird to me.
Is that going to sell tickets, Brother Hugh, for SummerSlam?
To be honest, it probably won't. But
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I'm looking at it from his perspective, though.
Fair
you know
enough.
what I'm saying? It would be good for
Yeah.
him. It would be great for him.
But in what way? I'm not gonna go back and forth you about it. But here's what I'm saying. Because we don't know who the heck he is as far as his character is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes those wins might not mean anything. No one's gonna look at him and go, "Oh wow, he's a good champion because he beat Seth Rollins." Either way, on Monday he's going to cut the same promo. I'm here representing my people, Puerto Rico, something in Spanish, and then the Judgment Day is going to do some heel stuff, and then he's going to go back and act like he's part of that group. And I'm like, dude, wait a minute, you were just a face on the mic, but then you go backstage and now you're like trying to turn these guys to be, and it's just awkward. I
guess. Oh my bad. I guess I'm more biased because I'm a fan of his, and I've been a fan of his ever since ROH at least, with as Punishment Martinez, and I want him to get his shine. So I say I would like to see him go to SummerSlam and have that match because it will help keep him relevant. Because I'm afraid that if he loses the title, he gets lost in the sauce, and he never gets back up to that level.
He would have to stay with the Judgment Day.
Yeah, but what's really going on with the Judgment Day right now?
I was gonna say he stays with a faction.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right. Because the stuff that's going on in the Judgment Day don't have anything to do with him. And I'm gonna be honest with you. If he messes up those Judgment Day segments, I was like, bro, you're ruining this. This is keep Carlito and everybody else, and now you're messing it up.
Exactly. That's my only fear, that he gets lost in the sauce on that Jinder Mahal type of run. Like, okay, now you just like a regular mid-carder again. And like, no disrespect to him. No disrespect to him, but that's what I'm afraid of right now. Because you have so many other contenders or people that's well established that are bigger superstars than him right now, as far as marketing and crossover appeal and whatnot. That there's just better options overall.
And we talked. I know Brian. They said that a while ago. He's like, man, he just got caught up in a rough period. Yeah. He got caught up in Cody Rhodes coming hot. He got caught up in Seth Rollins being Seth Rollins. He got caught up in Gunther hit his stride, and it's like, and then you got caught up in CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. So it's like, man, where do you fit in? We was kind of trying to figure out where he's going to fit in, even with the Money in the Bank, and he found his place, right? And it makes sense. But let's call a spade a spade. Would he be in that space if CM Punk didn't get hurt? Come on now. And you mean to tell me we was going to go from, play devil's advocate with me, we was going to go from Seth Rollins, CM Punk and Drew McIntyre for the World Heavyweight Championship to, okay, CM Punk wins again. Damian Priest cashes in. There's no way in the world. Come on now.
Nah, it wouldn't happen.
Or who do you think, if Jay wins it, does he cash in after Seth and Damian? And then it's Gunther?
If Jay wins it?
Yeah.
That's another one. Jay Uso. I forgot about Jay Uso. I don't know.
Or I told you gonna laugh when I said it. I said I can see Jay getting the briefcase, and
I definitely can see him winning.
But when the bloodline, when Roman comes back, as everybody wants to fantasy book it, and Roman gets the title back, he cashed it on Roman.
Oof. I could see that happening, but I didn't even think about that. That's heavy duty.
Or if look, if The Rock gets it at Mania next year, I don't know, because The Rock said he was coming back.
There he is.
The Rock gets it. There's Dylan. Hey, Dylan, we've been waiting for you. If The Rock gets it, he cashes it on The Rock. What better way? Because there's got to be something leading up to Jey Uso still being in that space.
Yeah, this has to be. I don't know. Jey Uso might be on his Diamond Dallas Page ish right now, though. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like sometimes, like Diamond Dallas Page was always in the main event, but he was never really a title contender, so everybody left.
Yeah, that is true. It was nobody left. Look,
he was 41. He was 41 when he won the title, and by the time, like, it was during an awkward time, it was that 99 run, and it's like there was heavy hitters still, the Goldberg, the Stings, but by that time, they were all over the place. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He was wearing a ponytail. He was a different Diamond Dallas. He wasn't the people's champion Diamond Dallas. He was a heel. You know?
He was. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But for all that time, you couldn't tell me that Diamond Dallas Page was the main eventer.
Nope. He was a main eventer without even being a world champion.
You had to have him on your show. Like, and he was, and all his stories weren't involved with the NWO. He had his own thing going for him. So that's just right now. That's why I see Jey Uso kind of filling that role, because it's just like, you don't need to do nothing but just give the fans what they want. Let them keep winning, but don't let them win enough before you like, oh crap, now we got to push him. You know what I mean? You don't want to book yourself into a corner, as they said. But let's get into this segment. Like, so this is loaded. Hey, Ciendo's in the building.
Ciendo.
So good for business, bad for business. Look, Dylan's jumping up right into it. Good for business, bad for business. Should Damian Priest lose the World Heavyweight Championship to Seth Rollins at Money in the Bank? Would this be good for business or bad for business for Damian Priest to lose at Money in the Bank? Who wants to go first?
I think I already alluded to it earlier.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Re-allude to it.
I'm just gonna say it'll be for him to lose it.
There you go. For him to lose.
It's
we're
bad
trying to think about it. We got SummerSlam. We got Money in the Bank. We don't know what's coming on Money in the Bank. Triple H they probably cooking right now. You got SummerSlam coming up. You feel me? SummerSlam is
the graphics
WrestleMania.
Did you see the graphics for Money in the Bank? They like it's somebody stealing something. It looks like peace. And it's like that old school Carmen Sandiego silhouettes, and I'm like, everything got a story behind it.
Something's coming up.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
All right. Well,
go ahead.
I want to say, I want to go both ways. No Diddy, but I want to say it's bad for business because it's bad for business because, like I said earlier, I'm afraid he's going to get lost in the sauce.
Okay, fair enough.
If he loses, but it's also good for business because of like what y'all said. You have bigger stars that can draw for that bigger match at the biggest party of the summer.
There you go.
So that's your moneymaker. Hey, I'm just gonna stick with bad for business right now because I don't. Yeah. All
right. So brother Hugh
he needs that win. He needs that win.
It's bad for business. He needs to have a legitimate win against a former world champion of the caliber of Seth Rollins. We'll say bad for business, brother Hugh. Brother Brandon. Good for business, bad for business. Damian Priest loses his championship to Seth Rollins at Money in the Bank.
It's bad for business.
Tell us why.
It's bad because you don't want the title to start hot-shotting because if he loses it, I feel like somebody's going to cash in that night. So that's why I say he doesn't lose. I really hope that he can be that player by SummerSlam, and I think what they're doing is trying to build him up because we don't know what's going to happen between now and SummerSlam because what if the Judgment Day implode and we get that him and Finn blow-off match, and now it's like, who can really stop Damian Priest since he's left the Judgment Day behind? So, but I'm just saying,
I think him and Gunther might go the Judgment Day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They'll be on his own, but is the moneymaker him and Gunther, or is the moneymaker Gunther and somebody else? Because at this point,
Gunther and Seth.
I don't know. Is it Gunther and Seth? Is it Gunther
I was about to
say,
is it guaranteed one-on-one match? That's what I was.
No, it's not because
exactly.
we don't know what's going on with Money in the Bank. Let's not like whoever, you feel me? It might whoever wins Money in the Bank might cash in and be like, that's the triple threat match. We don't know, or they might be ready just to feed Damian. Maybe they don't want anybody to take a bad loss to Gunther. You know, it might be Damian Priest, but do we have Damian Priest and can we do Damian Priest and Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship? Are we? I don't want to say we throwing away this moment, but it's like there's not really a passing of the torch there. It's kind of like dominance there, but who does Gunther benefit from beating Damian Priest?
Or does he benefit more from beating Seth? Or does he benefit from beating Drew? Who does he benefit more? He already beat Drew before. He's already beat Jey Uso. I don't know.
I mean,
we used to be good at this, and now we're struggling.
I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think that really matters because if he has the title, Gunther, if he has the title, I feel like he's going to have those feuds anyway. So, like, if he beats Damian Priest right now, it's like, all right, cool. Now he's the top dog. True. So those guys are going to come towards him anyway.
But then we got to think about Survivor Series. If they're going to do a War Games match, or is it going to be champion versus champion? Does Damian and Cody, or is it Gunther and Cody?
Yeah, I don't know.
See, there's so many other wrinkles to this story. And
the guys are going at it in the chat. It's definitely
think about the teams: the Judgment Day versus the Cody Avengers. Who knows?
I don't think Judgment Day gonna make it that far.
Yeah, I don't. Not to mention, we still got some drama going on the Judgment Day. You saw Liv Morgan. She stole Dominic Mysterio's vest, and she's like, "If you want it, take it off of me." It's like, she got to chill.
Hey, bro.
She said, "Are you nervous? It's not your first time, is it? Let me help you out."
Bro.
I was like, "Yo, she got us." Then Damien's like,
Hey.
"Dominic."
Come
He's like,
here.
"Man, look." Dominic's like, "Man, she took my vest. I'm trying to get it back so I can go. Man, get back to the clubhouse."
The man
She's
yelled
like,
at him in Spanish, bro.
He did.
He definitely yelled at me. That's some big brother type stuff. He fussed him out in Spanish.
Woo.
Like, what are you doing, bro? He was like, "Look, man, she took my vest. I'm trying to go back to the clubhouse. I'm not having no problem." And then she's like, "Leave Dom alone. He don't want nothing to do with you." She said, "Oh, nah, you got to twist it. Dom wants everything to do with me." I think the plot thickens with the Judgment Day, and Dylan said, "Liv can have my vest. I'm not fighting those."
Hey, absolutely. I'm with you.
Anyway, we got to move on because we got to get to the moment of the night. Oh man, this is just absolutely unbelievable. I'm not going to waste any time. Hopefully, we'll get out of here. We're going to wrap this up really, really soon. But goodness gracious, the Wyatt Sick6 has officially debuted in WWE.
It's only 5 of them though.
Don't stop the moment.
You go first. Go. I'm good.
Let me read something for you on school. You guys can fight it out who goes first. I read something earlier. Somebody put something on the internet, and I said they said there's things you have to notice about this. First of all, this presentation. First of all, we'll get into that in a second. They said notice Eric Rowan's tribute to Luke Harper with the bludgeon.
Yeah,
they were in the tag team known as the Bludgeon Brothers. Special moment. Uncle Howdy's major appearance change. Obviously they're referring to the dreads, the big circle on the top of his hat, his facial structure looking different.
He got a beard.
He's got a beard.
He
also got a beard, but
a bigger one.
Chad Gable being targeted early in that night. There's a previous vendetta when it comes to that, and it says that the Wyatt Sick6 took out several major stars, and the 6th spot is left as a tribute to Bray Wyatt because he was originally supposed to be that 6th member. So that's just a tidbit. I don't know if that's true or not, but this is what a fan came up with. So first of all, Dylan's a fool. I'm not putting it up there. That's funny. Look at this comment. With the Wyatts.
That's crazy. That is really crazy. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
But
what did Dylan say?
Let's really talk about it, Dylan. Let's really talk about it.
Oh, I didn't see what Dylan say. The first dead person you see on the floor was
yeah.
Oh, Dylan. Oh, okay. Oh man.
I mean, it's technically a horror film at that point in time, right?
It definitely is. I mean, how long until we see Braun in this? Look, well, let's address this while Dwayne unfreezes. I don't think Braun needs this group, and this group does not need Braun. I don't think we don't.
Man, nah.
Because he's one tall. What do you say? One big SOB. Or what does Pat McAfee keep saying? Just a quick thought. If the Wyatt Sick6 was going to kill a character, would it have made sense for them to? Oh yeah, they should just let Fed Ricochet to him. That actually does make sense. That you could have just wrote Ricochet off that way, but you killed Jack Gable. Somebody had that blood spattering on the wall. But here, while we waiting for realness to come back, what was your initial thought when that music played and you saw that door? What was that moment?
It took me back to the first time it happened.
That was smooth. How he come in?
That was real smooth.
See that? I caught it.
Look, I said until he comes back. You see how we just kept rolling with it?
Yep.
They have a championship called exclusive. I like it.
We'll keep going. Talk about what you were thinking when that happened. That moment. First of all, we knew this was on the way, right? But it seemed like it was delayed, right? Am I tripping? Correct me if I'm wrong, brothers. It seemed like it was delayed. I was like, first they teased it, and then it was kind of quiet for a little bit, and then it started teasing again, and we were like, we're not impressed. We saw this already. We saw it happen when Bray Wyatt, when he debuted, he came back. We saw this already.
Mm-hmm.
But then, so we weren't paying it any mind. They weren't going to get us again. We weren't going to do the QR codes and going down that rabbit hole. No, they wasn't going to get us. But they gave us something completely different. Talk about how you guys, just first of all, overall, what did you think of the presentation of this?
Awesome.
Go ahead, man. Just go ahead. You jumped out there. Go ahead.
Oh, wait a minute. First of all, hold on. My bad. Kane is coming to the ring.
Oh, my God.
We'll figure. You need your own King corner. Just like
Monster Match Battle Royal. 2007 ECW.
Lord,
But
this show that had no ECW wrestlers on it.
right,
I think
exactly.
he was a good ECW champion, by the way.
Oh, absolutely. But
When he beat Chavo in like 3 seconds.
right.
Yeah, that was.
But no, the presentation of it was awesome. We give WWE's production team their flowers all the time. Yeah, the new production team. We give them their flowers all the time, and the way they portrayed it was crazy. My major thing was, I had to literally sit back and be like, look, I'm gonna watch it as a fan. Literally, just sit back and watch it and enjoy it as a fan.
Sure.
Because if I sit there and I watch it as like a realist.
A veteran.
I was going, I was going to be like, oh, okay, this is not. I'm not feeling it. It's not realistic to me. But watching it from the fans aspect, and I was on the phone with Brandon when we saw it. Man, when the music hit, the door opened, I instantly got goosebumps. I felt like, you know how when you're in the arena when Undertaker comes out and you feel those goosebumps, and you feel cold. That's what I felt. And mind you, I'm in my room watching the show, and I felt that instantly.
Wow!
And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Then, like Brandon said, they started playing the music. I'm not gonna lie, it caught me in my feelings a little bit.
Absolutely.
So I was like, okay. Let me man up. You know what I'm saying? I can't cry. And Brandon on the phone and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Because he would clown me forever. So, but no. All seriousness, the presentation of it was on point. I loved it. I get it. The only thing I don't get is, well, I'm not gonna say. I brought this up to Brandon.
We're gonna talk about it.
I brought this up to Brandon. Why is Eric Rowan Rambling Rabbit? But I kind of get it because
I have a theory.
All right, good.
No. Go ahead. Because we're gonna have a group discussion about this.
I feel like Gacy should have been Rambling Rabbit.
Why is that?
But just because of his mic skills, his promo skills.
Okay.
He talks in like that twisted kind of way, like that Bray Wyatt used to speak.
Okay.
He just seems like that type of character.
He was touted as the next Bray Wyatt, like almost like if you go on YouTube, like there's people who made videos like 2 and 3 years ago that was like, oh, here's the next Bray Wyatt. You know what I mean? And he was even like with, you look at what he did with Schism. You know what I mean? In NXT before that, it didn't work out or catch on because we had seen Bray Wyatt and the standards were set really high. But I agree with you. He was supposed to be the up next for this type of character.
Now I don't want to sound dumb or whatnot, but
you sound dumb, of course.
What's the difference between the White Rabbit and Rambling Rabbit?
The White Rabbit was from Alice in Wonderland. Remember that was a nod from Alice in Wonderland where you had to follow the rabbit. Remember?
Yeah, right.
You were following the clues. The Rambling Rabbit. So I don't want to take your time.
No.
We probably got to go back and rewatch all the Funhouse because remember, it was a theory that these were characters in Bray Wyatt's head that helped keep the Fiend at bay. Because as soon as he would say the Fiend, they would all get nervous and they would get scared. So these were all the characters that he created, like coping mechanism. Each person, the pig. What was this? Huskus the pig.
Huskus,
Huskus Harris. I had to get away from that character. The buzzer. I forgot each one. I meant to go back and we were watching, but he explained almost each character.
Is it A&E? What was? No, it's the network documentary.
That was the bio.
The bio, and they explained what each character was supposed to embody, and it was a part of his. I don't want to say fractured mind because it sounded like he was crazy, but his creative mind. And then they kept saying, "Don't let him in." You don't want him to come because everything changes with the Fiend. And the crazy part is when you see this, it's kind of like a casual wrestling fan will be like, "Whoa, what is this?" But it gives them something to go down a rabbit hole to look at. Like even for the date, the time, the instant things that people was posting. Everything about it was very good.
Oh Lord! Oh, he got his guns out. Okay.
I was waiting for you to see it. I'm surprised you didn't see it. I was
take time Hollywood.
And I'm gonna say this: I was not following this rabbit hole, but Mike from Mouthing Off with Mike, he was all in. Like he would post like explanation videos about each one, the codes.
Yeah.
And the dates did keep changing, and I think they delayed it on purpose because I think the plans kept changing for like what was going on in the PLEs, what was
That
going
was the
on in that
vibes I was
Raw.
getting.
Yeah, so it was like, oh, this is the date that makes more sense. And I like the fact that we had that preview with the Fireflies with Jay. And then when he made that comment after, hey, I don't know what's going on, but y'all can have him back. And it was like, everybody's involved. This is about to be bigger than what we know. This is about to become our must-see TV.
Yeah.
And the fact that everybody got some kind of subtle changes, I hope that they don't fizzle out. I hope that makes sense.
That's my biggest fear right there. Yeah, like I don't.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was about to say, at some point they're gonna have to wrestle.
That's
like,
the conversation that we're going to have because it's like where do we go from here now?
Mm-hmm.
Let's get Brian H's 2 cents. Brian H, Hollywood, good to see you, brother. Just in time for the main.
He the Jack Daddy today.
The Jack Daddy. Got his sons out, guns out. You know it's the summertime, baby.
He got his hair pulled up in a ponytail.
Right.
Look at that. He got his hair sitting up on the top.
Are you just coming from the gym?
Yeah, he had to do a couple push-ups,
He's glistening.
A couple bench press. Yes.
The gorilla position, pumping up before you get on the air, man. Brian, it's good to see you, sir. How'd you feel about, first of all, the overall presentation of the Wyatt Six? They have been teasing it. We know it was, it was talked about before, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't know how they were gonna pull it off because when Bray Wyatt passed away, I think I remember I told you specifically, Brian. I said I feel bad about it because it's like I'll never know where this was supposed to go. You know what I mean? I was like, it felt so undone. I was like, dang, man, I was looking forward to see where this was going to go, and I didn't think that we were going to actually get it, without Bray Wyatt. So, but here we are. What'd you think about the debut of the Wyatt Six?
It locked me in. I saw it, and it was like, okay, what's next? Like every time, camera changes, camera angles, and I'm sitting there, figuring out. Obviously, the first one was Nikki Cross. I didn't realize who everybody else was until doing deep dive research. But overall, I liked it. Of course, you start to wonder, like, man, what if Bray was around? And maybe he's the sixth member, and that's why they're keeping it empty. Shout out, I was listening, and that's what shout out to my homeboy, my bro Emilio Sparks was saying. And I was like, that makes sense. I was thinking the same thing. But then again, they could always pull in a sixth member. Obviously Braun Strowman's still out there. So I could see them like,
I saw
another one. Because that's who at first I thought it was, and then I saw the body.
But did you saw the face afterwards though, right? When it went off the air?
When it went off the air, it was a face.
When it went off the air, it was a female face that jumped out on the screen. So that's what I'm thinking. I guess that's Alexa.
That's probably so. You're right. Dang. I never. It's not one of those things I went back and watched again.
I did.
We watched it like 4 times.
Me too. It was like 1.2 million for like after 13 hours. Brian H.
Yeah.
Yeah. We recorded Raw, like Ring of Wrestling Worldwide immediately, which is usually we do Tuesday. So it was like instant reactions and then just life stuff. But overall, I'm excited for it. I'm really excited for the fact that Taylor Rotunda can be a star.
There you go.
That's the biggest part. When I sit back and think about everything, I think about all that he's done. The Bo Dallas, the Bo Leave, and B Team. I'm like, okay, now here's an opportunity for him to be a star. So that's what I'm really the most excited about.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to see how much more merch. Like they instantly came on with the shirts, and remember when what was it, that little Lily doll was like one of the biggest sellers when they brought that out.
Yeah.
This is going to open up so many. Do you really?
Yeah, Summer decided she wanted that. She likes all villains, but that's because she's sort of a villain herself. She likes all Disney villains. She likes all bad girl stuff. So she's like, "Ooh, I like that." So I got it for her for Christmas, and like I was like, "Are you gonna be freaked out?" And she loves that thing.
But can you imagine going to a show and seeing somebody with these masks on?
No, they're not selling those. They can't. That's too much.
They did the Fiends mask.
Children, for goodness sake.
Okay.
They gonna sell them joints.
They gonna sell them stuff.
Didn't look like that though.
The Fiend mask was creepy.
These are worse. These are worse than the Fiend mask.
Okay.
Here's my thing. Think about it. How many people did you see at those shows with Fiend mask though? Well, it wasn't like Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, it wasn't many. Yeah.
But remember, kids was dressing up like him. You saw it.
No, you're right,
I saw more sheep masks than that.
because Adam definitely had a Fiend mask. It was from Five Below, but nevertheless it was a Fiend mask.
You ain't had to put nephew out there like that.
No, I'm saying though, like, because it wasn't as in like I didn't realize how like non-intimidating it was, but it was a Fiend mask. And I was like, they were selling that like hotcakes. That is true though, brother Brandon. So I take it back. You're right.
So it don't have to be as creepy. It can be
and that's what I was
watered
thinking.
down version.
Exactly.
Or it could be something that I'm still waiting for the lanterns to go back on sale because they sold them at one point. Didn't they have the lanterns? It was like a limited time.
Yeah, something like
I believe so. Yeah.
They probably sold out, or they probably didn't make that many.
Yeah, because they didn't know how I was going to do probably.
Here's my 2 cents on the matter. One, it was so unexpected. This presentation was what I've been waiting for Bray Wyatt's entire career. Even the match he had with Randy Orton at the house with the Sister Abigail match, stuff like that. They were competing with Matt Hardy's, Broken Universe, and they did their own thing because very similar characters at the time. This presentation was what I've been waiting for forever. Like, I've always wanted it to be this way. I can't speak for the live audience, but if it was clearly made for TV. And what we saw a horror movie come to life. And it was legitimate. Like, that was the perfect way to do it. And it's something that we've never seen before. It was, and I told, I think I told Brother Hewitt on Championship Culture yesterday after dark. I was like, the way they did that, that's how I wanted to see the match that Bray Wyatt had with John Cena and the Firefly Funhouse match. Instead of what they gave us was more like an allegorical, like mental thing. I wanted to see that. I said, bring this house to life. Like, we only see the room that Mr. Rogers set up for the fire. I said, but like, let's take us into the other areas of this house. And I felt like we were getting closer to it because when Bray Wyatt re-debuted and they showed the footage of going into the Firefly Funhouse, and then the firehouse was it was in cobwebs, and then they went into the TV. I said, okay, now we're hitting it. You're taking me into this space because I'm not a horror movie guy, but I appreciate horror movie production. They do a really good job. And think about how hard that is to do for live television. That's like going to a play. You know what I mean? So like you got a live wrestling event and you're able to take like movie quality scenes and then produce that live. I was like, yo,
that's crazy.
Like, they went backstage and first of all, when I saw Nikki Cross come out there, I had a feeling it was her, but the good part is I didn't directly recognize it was her. And we saw the door, we saw the lights go out. We're like, okay, cool, he's back. But this was different. Like, even when Bray Wyatt came back, this is what I wanted to see. I wanted it to be that, not just him. Like, when he came out and he did it, we were happy to see him. And I'm like, dang, that was it.
Exactly.
But when she pointed back, I was like, oh boy, there's more. And then they went backstage and the smog was everywhere. And you just see security laid out and you saw each character. And I'm glad we saw the first one that we saw was Eric Redbeard. And he had that bludgeon. I was like, oh, that's just beautiful. Because that's John Huber. You know what I mean? That's his tribute to Luke Harper, to John Huber, to Brody Lee, whatever you want to call him. You know what I mean? And I was like, man, that's special. And it's just like when you see the evolution of like these characters that we saw because the masks are not direct representation of the characters, but it's like this sick evolution of them. Like, they're like on steroids almost. I don't even know what you call it, but
it's like the live action version of it. Like if we had a cartoon character, we said, here's the live
exactly
action.
And you were like, ooh, they're much darker than I would thought they would have been. And I was like, okay. And then you the flickering lights backstage and just the demented look of it all. I said, yo, we are finally getting what I've always wanted from Bray Wyatt and his characters and all that kind of stuff. I was so happy to see it. I was excited to see it. I was blown away, and I was like, okay, cool. Now it brings us to the.
It was good to finally see his vision come to life. I feel like his brother.
Was the way he always wanted to do it.
Absolutely, his brother and I gotta say Triple H, of course. Again, they were able to hit it spot on with the presentation, and like you said, it's going to create. Taylor's going to become a star out of this, for sure.
And I feel like he can be Uncle Howdy was like a accessory. It's the part that confused me at first because when he first came on Brian H, Bray Wyatt was Uncle Howdy. Like he played that character.
Right.
And then they wanted to bring that character to life because they were like, this is like he tell you, Uncle Howdy's been hiding in my closet forever, and then when he disappeared from my closet, he's been in my head ever since. And that this is this haunting character that's been haunting Bray Wyatt his whole life, and now it's like it's back and it's trying to pull him back into this space. And they were kind of teasing Uncle Howdy bringing back the Fiend and causing Bray Wyatt to go back, but we never got to that point. And then when they debuted Uncle Howdy in the Pitch Dark match, he almost became like a sideshow.
Yeah,
Like he was an accessory. There was no depth to him. But like you said, Brian H., the fact that Taylor Rotunda can be a star because now he can take this and he can be the front runner of it all. You know what I mean? And he was, you saw in the bio, he was like, "Look, man, we were coming to be, we were coming to be horror movie characters together. Like we were going to be monsters together." And now he gets to kind of take the reins. So
outside of the kids stuff, that part hurt the most.
Yeah,
the fact that he was going to work with his brother.
Yeah,
because they always on main television, they always kept him separate.
Yep.
And maybe a joke, a laugh, ha 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 here and there, or running spot, hit a finisher. But the fact that they was about to work together, like, man, like, why did you put on Ice, bro?
They said he had it on.
He did.
I thought he did. Put the vest he left it in the car. Yeah.
Yeah, they said he just wanted to go lay down for a second, and he didn't have a vest on.
Go back and watch the documentary.
I thought JoJo said he didn't have the vest on.
I thought he said it in the
You go back and watch the documentary. His mother said that vest did not go off. Go back and watch the documentary on the network because I said the same thing, and she said no, he had that vest on. It didn't go off. I was like, wait.
I thought it. I
don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I thought it was a report that came out first that said he didn't have it on, but yeah.
When I saw his mama say that, I said something's not right.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean?
If it happened that way, yeah.
Something was negligent about it, which makes it worse because it's like it's one of those situations where like this didn't have to happen if something was different, whatever it may be. So it's not to dig up old wounds because it's a touchy subject. You know what I mean? But like I said, missing out on that opportunity, but now kind of like, okay, we get this chance now to bring this. Like I watched a horror movie come to life on live television.
Bro, they killed people. They murdered people backstage.
And that's what it looked like. Like it was blood everywhere. First of all, it was blood. Cody Rhodes has been fighting for blood and he's getting his own blood.
Chad Gable,
he got shot in the head. He's been the joke of all day. Everyone's like, oh, they shot Chad Gable in the head.
And you see the Wikipedia page?
Yeah, they updated his Wikipedia, bro. R.I.P.
He's dead now.
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, cool.
Hey, now, who's out there doing this? And the whole time it's a massacre going backstage. That's what
it caught everybody completely off guard. So now we have to come to what's next. And this is how we're going to finish the show. Where do we go from here? Because brother, you said it. At some point, you're going to have to wrestle. Now, you've given us this very dark presentation. How do we book the Wyatt Six? Because you can't book them in regular. Like with Uncle Howdy decide he wants the Universal Championship.
Like,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Like how do you go about this now? Like they always did it with Bray Wyatt, but because there was a duality to the character. Bray Wyatt was always trying to do right, but the Fiend was always getting the best of him, and he couldn't control him. And the Fiend wanted the spotlight. The Fiend wanted the championship. The Fiend wanted to take out whoever, whether it's Randy Orton or Roman Reigns, whatever the case may be. How do we book the Wyatt Six? Where do we go from here? Like, think about it. Every major faction that debuts is always destruction. Look at the Nexus. Look at the Shield. Even look at Retribution when they, during the pandemic when they, it was, they were throwing cupcakes against the wall to see what stick.
And throwing flamethrowers at the generator.
You said what?
I said I'm gonna take the easy way out and say I ain't even gonna try. But I'll tell you this. Because of everything you just named, I trust the current regime because like everything I've heard, like talking to Bailey, right? She said, I always wanted to have a group. They said, okay, but why? What is the purpose? So before we even see it, there's those necessary conversations. So I don't know what's coming, but I see something good.
I got two things. First of all, I'm asking any brother Hugh, brother Brandon, you guys feel the same way?
I know we got something good, but
Why
I
y'all
feel
nervous? Like y'all scared? Like we just
because Vince
got
McMahon
real
has
like
ruined our mind.
yeah.
Let's call it what it
yeah.
is. But I feel like on Monday, like Hollywood says that like if somebody wins the title, we expect to see them, and that's what AEW downfall was with like MJF, right?
Yeah.
Or Swerve. With this, you got to kick off Monday Night Raw with something like this.
What if they
Because-
didn't happen?
But well, here's the thing. So it was your highest rated thing, your YouTube view clip or something,
Besides
and they
for
like
Hendry
boosted.
on NXT.
Yeah,
Right,
on the
right.
next, but for Raw, just for Raw only. So
Got it.
you got to do something. And I think that this is.
Mhm.
So I call me crazy. I think this is about to become a big deal because of Netflix. It's got to be a big deal.
I forgot about Netflix.
And so you got to kick off Raw with something with them because everybody's talking about this. You can't go the whole show and expect us to wait for another something. You got to
Right,
follow
you gotta
up right
address
off the
it.
break. Like, even if the music plays and they just come to the ring and then it gets dark and then they're gone. Or Triple H is here now because Adam Pearce was one of the bodies that's going to be out. And Triple H is like,
Oh yeah, like I got to do the show tonight. I'll be
I don't know.
Yeah, oof.
Or what do you do? Like, it's got to be some kind. It's so many avenues, and Vince McMahon has ruined our mind. But especially because the characters, the real life wrestlers, their Twitter /X automatically said, "Yeah, that was me." Pretty much, they said, "Yeah, that's me." Yeah, you got to speculate. It's me. Like they posted everything.
Even the tags on like YouTube, because if you put like Dexter Loomis's name, the video pops up. You put Joe Gacy's name, the video pops up. You put, you know what I mean?
They
So,
are
like,
raising their stock and want you to say, okay, all these people have been doing creepy things in the background. I'm going to tune into Monday Night Raw because you got to give me a follow up to this.
they
like,
re-grabbed our attention
instantly. Because with Bray, when he came to the ring the first time, after that, he was Bray Wyatt, emotional promo. We waited to see that best promo that he did because he said, "This is the real me." You know what I mean? Then it was like, okay, we were calm now. We got what we wanted. Go back to the regular scheduled program. We got to have a follow up of. It's got to kick off Raw. Like Monday, I'm going to be sitting at the TV 8:00 waiting to hear. That's all.
Probably.
Or
I'm
unless they're
probably
going
the same
to
way.
do a recap first, and then kick off with them.
You can't ignore that. It was bloodshed.
Nah,
at
you
that
can't.
point. Like, it was
You
bloodshed.
You don't need to do anything spectacular either, like you said. You just have to just touch base on it real quick, and it just keep us guessing.
Do you think the whole show is going to be built around it? And I say like the subtlety stuff, like mid show you're going to see security scrambling, or like, you know what I mean, certain areas to keep people like on their toes, like wait, what's going on? And it may not be nothing, but
the chaos in the background again.
Yeah, like they're not addressing it, but now they're taking precautions to make sure this doesn't happen again. You know what I mean? Like these subtle stuff like that. You guys see that because they've done that before. You know, we've seen scenes in the cars smoking in the background.
I was about to say.
We never got follow up to that.
I was about to say, yeah. I mean, now that we're in the Triple H regime, I would definitely say yes. I mean, just look at like NXT, how they had what's his face, Magnum TA. What I call him? That's just Magnum TA. Doing
he was fighting in the crowd.
Yeah, he was fighting in the crowd, just acting crazy, and everybody just went. And what was it? Wesley was in the ring. I think
they couldn't even do their promo. They were like, Open Finish was looking like.
So a lot of craziness going on, and yeah, I can see that happening for sure. That's how you keep it going.
Yeah, and it keeps you paranoid, keeps you on your toes.
Right.
Here's what I propose. Think about everyone that's in this group. They're not really wrestlers you really want to see in the ring that much anyway, with the exception of like Nikki Cross. No disrespect to anybody else, but think about it. Dexter Loomis really wasn't being used.
Yeah, he wasn't.
Eric Rowan is not, like, these people don't scream out single superstars. So like they don't have to be on a show every week. They don't have to be like, well, he hadn't wrestled in 6 months. Why is he relevant? Like, no, he does not. You guys are stuck in this attitude of a wrestling show. I'd rather have them lurk in the shadows and just let that be their character.
That's it.
He doesn't need reps at a house show so he can keep going and get ready for Money in the Bank. No, if this is the group, Let them stay in this space and lurk, and they're going to have an agenda. They're going to have an agenda, and whoever that agenda is pointed to, just let them keep carrying out those agendas. It doesn't have to be like think about the mystique of Sting for a year. He stayed in the rafters. Sting didn't touch a wrestling match
for a year.
But part of him being on the show was just him being in the rafters. Like that was his place. That was his role. He didn't have to be like, oh shoot, we got to get Sting on TV because people are going to forget about him or he's not going to. No, it was the character is in the like you were looking for Sting in the rafters. You weren't saying, well, dang it, Sting may be the rafters, but he hadn't wrestled this week. He didn't matter. You know what I mean? Like I feel like when you look at this group, I'm like, yeah, this is they're going to have a vendetta. There's a reason why they're doing what they're doing. They sent messages. They said there's going to be destruction. We don't know what their agenda is. We don't know why. It's going to be continued. Does anybody have a guess of what they're after?
But the last clue was, how does it feel when your brother died? Remember, that was the last clue, and it was like something the code led to this Monday. I don't know who that victim, because they interrupted Chad Gable a lot, but then they killed him on Monday because a lot of the QR codes were during his vignettes or when he's coming to the ring.
Yeah, it was a lot of clues within those QR codes pointing at Chad Gable, because it said something about one of them said something along the lines of, "You used to say thank you," and remember, you notice he stopped saying thank you once he turned heel. And another one was like they had a little CG in the corner, like you really had to zoom in on it to find out, to figure it out. So I don't know.
But remember when the Fiend first started, he changed the people he wrestled.
Yep.
Is this going to be the thing that changes people? Because like Hugh just said it. Because remember, he changed Kane. Yeah, he changed Kane. He changed Daniel Bryan.
So you're telling me that they gave him Karrion Kross's gimmick? Because this is what Karrion Kross was supposed to be doing. Remember, Karrion Kross was beating everybody. He's like, I took away Shinsuke's honor. I took away Rey Mysterio's self-control. Like
gracious, realness. You're right.
Think about it. Remember when they were trying to get Karrion Kross over and he was losing, but he was like, "See, you think I lost, but every time I'm in a battle with somebody, I take something away from them." Like he's like, I took away Drew McIntyre's temperament. He lost his mind, and he talked about I took away AJ's something with AJ. AJ Styles turned kind of funky afterwards. You know what I mean? Before he got hurt.
Black. Well, he really took a loss now. If that's it, he really took a loss.
I'm like, dang. Are they giving away his? They just giving away his character, his whole gimmick. Right. Now you don't know what Karrion Kross is at this point.
You're not doing it right. So let me give it to Taylor. Oh my gosh,
just a nice guy.
Yeah, he is. We're gonna vote for Karrion Kross because he's a good guy.
Yeah.
I just think he just haven't figured it out yet.
No, Adam Cole.
Adam Cole has something to do
with it. We couldn't keep blame Adam Cole.
Adam Cole definitely had something to do with it.
Yeah,
but yeah,
nice guy too. That's the sad part.
See, two nice guys. But we'll be here all day trying to speculate what's going on with the Wyatt Sick6. Shout out to WWE and just this whole bringing this to life. It's very special. It's fun. It's amazing. It has excited us wrestling fans. And at the end of the day, that's what we're here to do. I'm looking forward to their agenda. That's what I want to see next. I want to see like what are they after? What is their message? What are they trying to convey? And how they affect the roster? Because now everybody's probably like, well, shoot, who's next? Where are they going to strike next? Where is it going to be? And I feel like that in itself is going to be. Imagine them doing stuff like this all the way up until SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Stuff like this is like it comes from the era of WCW. Like it was. We watched the WCW, Who Killed WCW, and they're still talking about to this day how impactful that the NWO attacked those wrestlers on the backlight of Disney MGM Studios when they did their TV tape in there.
Right.
All the way to the point where the neighbors called the police because they thought it was a gang fight and a backstage brawl at Disney MGM Studios. Like in mid-match, go back and watch that. And to me, it's crazy because it's like, I don't think we saw anything of that. Well, I mean, we did. Don't get me wrong, Attitude Era stuff, but it was a regular match going on. Jimmy Hart comes out there tripping. He pulls a cameraman aside like, you got to get backstage. Help. Like, I know.
I remember that. He grabbed.
Remember that? Like... Let's show you. And it was something that, first of all, it was nothing you would have seen in the 90s because you broke the rules. Wrestling was supposed to be just a show. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, the cameramen are running backstage and they see And they said the first thing you saw was Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, bats. And you see
And
people laid out, and people's minds automatically made up already. Oh my goodness, they're back here terrorizing people. And then the cruiserweights try to stop them. They get beat up. They throw Rey Mysterio into the side of a trailer. They get out of in a limo. Macho Man literally jumps on the limo. The crazy man. Macho Man jumps on the limo. The limo peels off with Macho Man in his gear, like hanging from the sunroof as it's flying down the street. You know, I think it was Missy Hyatt that's had somebody crying. They're talking about call the ambulance. It was well done. And then you come to 2024 and we see stuff like this. It's like, man, this is the evolution of sports entertainment at its finest. Your favorite wrestling show couldn't pull this off. This is why this will always beat professional wrestling every day of the week.
Yeah.
I just noticed that what's his face? Howdy is wearing Bray Wyatt's gloves, but it looks like he only has the hurt glove on.
It says Bray Wyatt.
Well,
one of them says Bray, but the other one says hurt.
Right. It doesn't have the heel portion of it now.
Come on now. That man's brother died. He ain't healing. There's a lot of subtle nuances about this. And I'm almost sure we'll all probably look at some type of video because somebody's going to sit there and break down all this stuff. Somebody's going to sit back and be like, they're going to nitpick at everything.
Oh, I like that picture.
It's because the first thing I noticed was the bludgeon when Eric Redbeard, when he turned around, I my heart like dropped. I was like, oh, that's special because that's like he's carrying that part of him with him in this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, and everybody else, how close Brody Lee was to Bray Wyatt. They were, so close. So it's just like there's so much to it that we don't have time to get into it by ourselves. To be continued. This is going to be great. Thank you, Brian H, for giving us that extra boost as people came in. People coming in late, that extra retweet we got. But we are wrapping
down
up.
the rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's and this time they didn't have to force us to do it. But ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you joining us. It's we're wrapping this up, but we want you to follow us on all social media platforms at Wrestling Realm. Subscribe to our Patreon, YouTube channel, Twitch at The Wrestling Realm. Any final thoughts, gentlemen, before we head out of here?
No, it's crazy.
This is going to be insane. You said what?
Happy Juneteenth. Happy
Juneteenth.
Birthday.
Yes, indeed.
Happy birthday, Jay Bougie. Shout out to him. Number 44, BRP 50. Full list dropping this week.
Oh, wow. That is coming out this week. I don't know why I thought the list was already out.
They've been dropping each one.
Yeah, the rest will be dropped tomorrow.
Got it.
Top 10. I don't know who number one. I have an idea.
Ricky Starks.
No, he's already, I think, like 12. No.
That's going to be
19,
Trick.
17.
You know it's going to be Trick Williams. Cut it out. We all know it's going to be Trick Williams.
You think it's going to be Trick?
Look who's on the cover, front and center.
Who else would it be?
Well, see, the 1 year, so the first year that I started doing the interviews with them was after Kofi Mania. And Kofi wasn't number one. I mean, he was number one, but he wasn't on the cover for that reason. They didn't want to give away. I mean, it could be. My guess is Darius. My pick is Darius Carter
to be number one. Are you talking at 50?
Number one. I think Darius Carter has had the best year. This may sound blasphemous. You remember when Okada had that year where he was number one for PWI?
Yeah.
That was because like that impact he had in wrestling. Sure. That's how I feel about Darius Carter. Like as a black wrestler, he's had that type of impact.
It doesn't matter where you do it at, or is it just in general? Like I don't know how they.
I mean, technically, TV time carries a lot of weight.
Okay,
but I don't think there's been a black like the last 2 years was Bianca for a reason.
Sure.
So and I don't think there's a black wrestler that's been. I mean, I wouldn't. Trick Williams, yeah. It's tough.
Trick Willie. My vote is Trick Willie.
Yeah.
Or Swerve. Watch, it's gonna be him.
Or Swerve. There you go. That's another one.
Swerve is ineligible.
He's not eligible.
Swerve and Moose.
Yes, they got the beefing.
Yeah, they asked to be off the list. So
really?
Yeah, because remember they got mad a couple years ago about the way that stuff went down.
Swerve got mad at his placement after he was, he got mad at his placement. Moose kind of the same thing in 2019. So spoiler alert, if you listen to the Wrestling for the Culture from 2020, you'll hear every beep is because they say Moose.
Yeah, I definitely remember that. Oh boy. Well,
Wow. Okay, that changes everything.
yeah, that should be interesting. Brian, that you
Because
missed the
if anybody
conversation
would have been
earlier.
number one, Moose would have been number one. I mean, not Moose. Boy, Swerve probably would have been number one.
Probably so.
Yeah,
All
most
those
likely.
wins and then the big title win. Yeah.
Oh,
What about my man,
like
Big AJ
number 5.
Francis? He's a new TNA Digital Media Champion.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, is it because of him we know who Joe Hendry is?
No, that's not true. It's because of Matt Cardona. He made a little action figure song about him.
Oh my gosh.
No, but you gotta see the tweet.
Is it Cody Raheem?
Cody could be number 2. He gonna be number 2. He gonna be the runner-up.
Hey, yo, he said it's gonna be.
On
Can
that
you
note,
can you tweet that? Can you retweet that? Be like, I already know the top 5.
We are
Number
getting
2,
out of here.
Cody
We're gonna jump
Raheem.
into Wrestling Realm After Dark. So once the red light is off, the conversation continues, and you guys will not be a part of it. I'm sorry. Cody Raheem is number 1. We out of here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you next week. Thank you for tuning in.
Houston, we have a problem. Yes!